This is what we call the extension to the airstrip. Again, this is about almost a half-acre plot. And we drilled this with brassicas and oats and peas. The peas did not take very well at all. See if I can find one somewhere to show y'all. But they did not take. So I re-drilled this with more oats and more brassica. We burned all this down, drug it, and then sprayed it. And then I drilled through it when it was still pretty green but dying. I think it was just a little too thick and we didn't get a good take on the first planting. There's some peas. Iron clay pea. There's some peas. Some sort of brassica that we got. Some more peas. Sugar beets. Have a mix of turnips and radish and kale. It's coming in nice. We left this field all in clover this year. Had a nice stand of it come back, and so we left it. We got about a half inch of rain earlier in the week, and then we had a thunderstorm last night. I'm not sure how much rain we got, but I sprayed this with glyphosate about 2 weeks ago. Burned it down. And now we're burning it off. I'm going to drill this. I'm going to hit these green patches with more glyphosate. And then go drill this with some food plot seed, baby. Oh yeah. It is Saturday, August 28th. And like I said, I've sprayed this with a burn down a couple of weeks ago. Got everything killed off, dried off for the most part. But you can tell where I missed and where I've hit. Obviously the green patches did not burn. That's fine. We'll spray those in here about a week or two. We're going to come back here and drill this with some sort of food plot seed. It's about 1/10 of an acre, maybe. If that, but it's going to be a little kill plot at the farm. Got fire moving in. Should extinguish in the green grass. Like I said, we just got some rain last night, so it was a good time to burn this off. So anyway, I'll check back in with you. All right, here we are in the plot we call the airstrip. Planted this twice. I think I drilled it too deep the first time. Second time we came through here with oats. You can see the oats there and brassicas. A mix. We had Milo in here earlier in the year, and it didn't take, along with some corn. So we cut it all down and sprayed it, and we drilled this with brassica and oats probably about 3 weeks ago. Earlier in the week, these brassicas were probably about 2 inches shorter than this right than what you see right here. I came through earlier in the week and spread 150 pounds of urea on these plots. This is the airstrip. Past it's the extension. Put 150 pounds over this. It's about 8/10 of an acre. I wanted to put 150 pounds more, but that's all he had. So between almost an acre here, I put 150 pounds of urea on this. We had about 3 inches of rain to close out the end of the week. It is now Saturday, the 25th of September. And we'll take a look at the extension. Food plot update. I just planted some red osier dogwood in the back. And take a look at the plots here. I think the last time I checked in was September 24th. Today is September 30th. And these have put on probably another 4 to 5 inches. These are all radish. Some sugar beets in there. Our oats. This big old print. Ah, yeah. Looky there. They found it. Tomorrow, I think we'll get some cereal rye and broadcast in here and fill in some of these gaps. In between the rows here. Supposed to get some rain this weekend. That'll all work in. Oh yeah. Leftover Milo. It's trying. Look at the size of these guys. What do we have here? Radish. Big old radish. That's something else though. Turnip. Ooh. Super stoked. Turned out great this year. Yeah, this needs some rye. Deer season starts Saturday. Here we are in our designated clover plot. I drilled some oats through this twice. None of them came up. That's okay. Along the edge here we have Milo. It's a nice stand that came in. Kind of grew up with weeds this summer, but those have seemed to have died off. We'll have all these seed heads. Once these ripen, when they're ripe or mature, call it what you will, they turn brown like this. Deer will eat these. It's a grain, just like corn. Birds love it, turkey love it. Drilled some sunflowers through here too, little guys. They did okay. Unfortunately, none of this matured by the time dove season started, so we had a bunch of green sunflower and green Milo, but man, look at it now. We drilled all this with the RTP. Genesis 3. Oh yeah. All right, today is October the 11th, Monday. I added a little bit to the orchard today. Rural King had some peach and apple trees on sale. So I had 2 peach and an apple tree over there. This is the airstrip plot. Look at it since the last time I checked in. This leftover Milo, it's starting to head out, which is just fine. Didn't think I'd make it. These are all oats, mix of brassica. Man, they're tall. Look at that. It's 1.5 feet tall, probably. Some bigger than others. Got a big storm rolling in tonight. I I'm going to top dress this with urea and winter wheat. Usually I'll top coat everything with winter rye. They're out. So he said he had winter wheat. I said I'd take it. So I got 100 pounds of winter wheat, 100 pounds of urea. And looky here, folks. They found it. There's a big old turnip under there. Big old radish. Oh man. They've already started nipping off these leaves. Starting to get some browse pressure. So that's what it's here for. We'll go ahead and start spreading this here shortly. This rain tonight should soak everything in real nice. Here's what we have. 4600 straight nitrogen. And on this one. Cover crop. Wheat. That's the joy I get right there. All right, we just spread 50 pounds of winter wheat on the airstrip there. That's what we call it. There's the Miscanthus giganticus. See our Miscanthus greens over here. Looks pretty good. This is what we call the extension. Now, I drilled this twice. First time, I don't think it took. And second time, we added more oats. So this one has some brassica in it, but it's pretty heavy on oats. We'll come through and top seed this with some winter wheat and then spread 50 pounds of urea on this field. Let's take a look at this. This may have been a different blend too that I put in here. I can't remember. Remember I planted peas in this one and they didn't really come up. Getting eaten on already. Love it. Expensive deer. So that's all oats. That's all brassica. That's old Milo that didn't kill off. Once we hit it with nitrogen, it shot back up. It's starting to head out, which is great. Pretty happy with this. It's 5 o'clock. I need to get to spreading. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a winter wheat seed. I've never really planted it or broadcast it like this. It's usually in a mix if I have, but a little different than a winter rye seed. It's a little fatter. Hopefully it grows like rye does. Rye, you can throw it basically on anything and it'll grow. So we'll see. I'm going to spread a little here as a test spot, but I'm going to broadcast it out there. All right, we're over here in the Michigan field. This is what we call the thumb of the Michigan field. I planted this straight with winter rye about 2 weeks ago, I think it was. I think I made a little film on that, or tried. I didn't record. So I saved a little bit of winter rye. We'll come in here and overseed this with some winter rye. Hit it with a little nitrogen too. We'll fill this in nicely. Right over there. Right over there is a deer blind right past our Miscanthus grass. Anyway, let me get on this. Shit. Talk about just in time. By the hair of my chinny chin chin. Hey, it's always good to spread seed if you're broadcasting something right before it rains. The rain works it down the nooks and crannies if you can. Look at that big one. We're supposed to get a couple inches tonight. It's also good to fertilize before rain too, because that fertilizer is pretty volatile and it will just burn up if it sits in the sun or the heat. So you want to do it right before rain so it dissolves and soaks in. Talk about perfect timing. Just opened up. Oh yeah. Now I wish I could have used this bad boy spreader on this bad boy of a tractor. This is the Kubota L4701, and this thing just kicks ass, and we've been so very happy with it. Such a great tractor. I came from a John Deere. That thing sucked in comparison to this guy. There's one. There's two. So I would have spread that winter wheat with that, but I couldn't because all of our brassica are up, and if you drive over that with this tractor, it's just going to crush them all down. So I was left with hand spreading it, this thing, and that sucks. It really does suck. I'm so glad we got this spreader, and only have to use that hand spreader minimally. And this is our humble barn in the Freedom Farm compound. Signing off. Here's a little food plot update at the Freedom Farm. It is October 20th. It's been about a week since I spread that other 50 pounds of urea on this. We had some rain since then. And mercy, mercy me. The oats are crazy high. The brassicas are full and lush. It looks really, really good. Radishes. Sugar beet, I think, or turnip. Some of these above knee high. Here's the cereal rye plot. We spread some winter wheat in it too. Looks great. Well, we are done with the season, hunting season obviously, and here's a little a little update on the food plots that I brought you along all summer on, and finally I'm able to make a conclusion to those videos. I'll stick them all together and show you the progress of how this came along this year and where it is today. As you can see, this is the airstrip. This used to have brassicas 3 feet tall and oats, and it looks like someone came through here with the bush hog. Got some turnips left in the field, some radishes. There's a radish. There's a frozen turnip. Frozen turnips. They didn't hit those yet, or anyway, I guess. Here's one that they did. They chewed on that turnip, or that, turnip. I don't see any radishes that were eaten on, really. Not here anyway. Maybe that was one. But yeah, this is you can see the stalk of a brassica that we had there of some sort. They mowed this down completely. It looks like a bush hog has come through here. This is a lot of oats and a lot of winter rye, and it's just gnawed off. See the rows. Chewed down. Obviously, we need to get rid of some does, but it definitely got utilized this year, which is awesome, and that's why we put them out there. Feed the deer, attract the deer, keep the deer healthy. But this is the airstrip plot. I'll take you down to the extension, and this is the extension food plot. There's a turnip, all chewed up. This one had a lot of oats and rye, winter rye in it. In addition to brassicas too. You can see those obviously, but little info for you on your food plots. Winter rye will grow throughout the winter, and this will, come springtime, this will come out, and then it'll finally head out sometime in March. But this will provide food for them year round. I know it doesn't look like much now, but winter rye will continue to grow through the cold temps. Additionally, turnips, when they're growing, if a deer comes and eats the greens off of that turnip is done. The nice thing about radishes are, if a deer comes through and eats the green on that, it regenerates and keeps growing greens. So radishes are nice in that aspect for food plots, because they will continue to sprout up, whereas turnips do not. But turnips put out a big bulb, that is for sure. There's a radish gnawed on a little bit. These radishes, they're massive. Helps break up the ground too, puts nutrients back in, which is nice. Let's go check the clover plot. And here's the clover plot. We drilled some Milo through this early on. Did it for doves, but we got it out too late, so it hadn't seeded out, and didn't really do anything for the doves. But this is all clover. You can see, pretty small, but it's still green. And they are still using this. I'll take you over to the grains plot. I did spread some winter wheat. I broadcast some winter wheat in those two plots too. But I have one plot that we did just in winter rye and just in winter wheat, and we'll go take a look to see how that did. But every one of these seed heads from the Milo is eaten off, and deer will eat those. So will turkey. And it provides somewhat of a kind of a tall food plot, which can be a barrier too, which is nice. So it's a serves a double purpose. There's one shoot of Milo that got tall enough that nothing could reach it. All the seeds are gone out of it though. But every one of these heads have been chewed off. And this is the grain plot that we planted. This was all winter rye and winter wheat. They are still using this. Last week we had three does in it, so it looks a little bit better than the other side with the airstrip. But again, this was completely a grain food plot, so there was no brassicas mixed in with this. No Milo, nothing else. It was all grains, and it's still pretty viable. Like I said, they were in here eating last week. Doesn't look like much, but this time of the year it's still green, and to them it's still nutrition. It's 11 degrees today. Whew, it's cold. Anyhow, just wanted to give you a little look at that. See how it fared over the hunting season and into the winter here.